Hello and welcome back to Factorio. A while ago I said that I would never play Factorio on YouTube again just because the form factor of most factory games, especially Factorio, kind of lends itself to the longer form of streams. However, this is not going to be your typical Factorio series. In fact, this is going to be a sort of clip series or vignette series where I show just a small, hopefully small, short build of one aspect at a time of C Block. I've decided to play C Block, everybody. So what I've done, and we'll call this episode 0, this is kind of an introduction to what this series is all about. What I've done is I've installed the C Block mod pack. There's a space in there. The C Block official pack here. And I've installed all the mods that it requires. And then I uninstalled Bob Enemies and Bob Warfare. And then I uninstalled the pack. That way the pack doesn't complain because these two aren't here. So there will not be any enemies in here. There will not be any extra military stuff that is in Bob Warfare. But everything else in the mod pack is installed. In addition to that, there's some updates. Oh, never mind, not those updates. I have mods here that are from my old Exotic Industries series that I've just disabled. In addition to those things, I have a few of my usual QOL stuff that may or may not be in the mod pack too, like Auto Deconstruct and, well, that's fine. And companion drones, just because as we're building things, I really don't want to lay it all out myself. I'd rather have the bots help with moving things around and building things. Since this is just a feature series on each stage or each step in the C Block process or the C Block playthrough, I don't really see the issue with having the companion drones helping us out from the very beginning. And I've turned off the rebalance mod because, again, I don't really see the issue with the companion drones helping us out. I left in Disco Science and Even Distribution. I have FNAI and Hell mod, which I think are both in that mod pack, actually. I think they're both in here. FNAI and Hell mod, yes. And let's see, what else do I have? Landfill Painting is in, which I think is part of the mod as well, yes. Module Inserter, I don't know if we'll use it or not, but eventually we'll probably build modules, so we'll probably want that. Orphan Finder's in as well, although I need to figure out how to use it again because I keep forgetting to look at that. I have Pacifist installed by a friend of the channel, Der Pumu. This will remove all related things to any sort of combat, any sort of military action. And it is a mod that is, well, incompatible with Angel's Exploration, which we don't have installed, one of the Angel's mods we don't have, and a few other sort of enemy-focused ones, as well as some other major packs that he hasn't either done a compatibility with or is unable to for some reason. But there's no problem with Bob's, and especially having excluded the two Bob's mods that I did exclude. I have Pump Anywhere installed. However, I've gotten far enough in my sort of practices that I saw that there is a ground pump, so I may cease to use this once we unlock the ground pumps, but for now I'm going to use this. Recycling machines, even though we won't be able to use it for a while, I like the idea of it just to kind of get rid of some of that old low tier stuff, like the burner tier stuff. And then Squeak Through and Vehicle Snap are both installed. Whether we need vehicles or not will be a feature for later, but everything else I think is part of the mod pack. And so the next sort of thing to do is to set up a new world. I have a test save that I've been doing a little bit of learning on because I've never played this before. I have played Angel Bobs before, or Bob Angels, whichever you prefer to say, but it's been a while, so there's been some stuff added to the combined mods. And I've not played it solo, so this is a little bit of a learning experience, and especially with C Block, it changes a lot of the order and way that you do things, so we're going to do that. So there are no resources. If you've never played C Block before, C Block has no resources on the ground because, well, there is no ground, almost. There are these tiny little islands, and on these tiny little islands there are some types of resources, but they're not these types of resources, and we'll get into that when we get into it. And then for the terrain, you can change these all you want. You're not changing anything. They are not controllable. I don't even think the moisture and terrain type are controlling anything. Turning off enemies, of course, but those are automatically turned off by using pacifist. And then since we have enemies turned off, we don't need pollution either, which is great. Infinite map is fine. Recipes default normal, technology normal, research queue is on, and you can do the seeds all you want. All that changes really is just like where those extra things are spawned, and I really don't know a good seed from a bad one in that situation. So I think we're just gonna pick one and maybe move on. I'm kind of maybe looking for one that's got a fairly large cluster of whatever this stuff is, fairly near to the center of the map. But I don't know that we will necessarily find one. And like I said, I didn't pick out a seed. I just kind of, because there's not really that much difference, that much variation here. So I think I'm just going to go with what we find, which maybe that one is okay. Let's go with that one. So let's go ahead and hit play. And we'll start out the very, very, very beginning of the game, and then that will end this episode 0. So you start out here on an island with a rock/chest. It's removed a few milestones relating to military stuff thanks to pacifist, and it's automatically detecting the C block preset, which is good, and we can change that if we needed to, which we don't. And inside of this rock/chest is a crap ton of stuff you need to get started, because it takes a while to get everything kind of going. So in order to get enough stuff to replace this. So what I want to do here is take this stuff up, and the first thing we do is put down a whole bunch of, I don't know why that's, maybe that's a need to put that down too. I'll put down a whole bunch of this sand. I don't know how much of the sand we're actually going to use right away, but I'm just going to put down a big square right now, and then we'll kind of use it later to maybe expand our way down here to get these things, which are plant life. And at some point, we'll also find some tree seeds, too. But we'll have to figure out those for later. There are 3 different types of fish in the water in C block. There's these Levac fish. There are Dorflip jellyfish. And there's the regular old fish. And I think they're all positive health, but we don't have enemies, so we're probably not going to need the health benefits here. That might have the trees up there. We'll have to find that out when we get there. So we're going to start out with a square, and we're also going to leave this here for right now. In the next episode, we will build a bit more sand so that we can start learning how to build the first thing, which is the first technology, which is kind of a milestone-based technology of make crushed stereotype. So, and then there are several more milestones, and that milestones mod will give us some kind of achievements and steps along the way, but some of the science itself, or the technology itself, is unlocked via making things that are a milestone item event. So if you have any thoughts or questions on this as I go into the series, by all means, let me know, ask away, or as the series progresses, ask away as well. If you have suggestions on things that I could have done differently or better, those will be welcome, especially because I will be learning this as I go. I mean, I'm several steps ahead of this right now in my practice to save, but I've never done this before. I've seen it played a long time ago and haven't done it in a long, long time. So I wanted to kind of just share this as I go. And finally, this series will not release super often. I wouldn't expect to see more than a couple of episodes a week, and they'll just kind of drop in a special time slot or a unique time slot. They're not going to replace my normal series, my normal playthroughs. I'm just going to kind of play this out and see what it looks like, and see how it goes. And I don't know that I will play through the whole thing. I would like to, but kind of depending on how the game goes and how time goes and life goes and things like that, it may depend on how we play out this game. So so as I mentioned earlier, let me know your thoughts, any questions or comments you might have, and let's make this kind of a living series, and I can react to some of your suggestions and your tips or questions or anything like that, and we can make changes to things along the way. As one thing I do know is that you will rip up and replace everything you build in C block multiple times, so we'll have to just be prepared to do that. But for now, we're going to leave this here, and in the next episode, we will actually get started with building the factory. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.